So it's the 2nd of December, and this is my first upload. It's um, basically with regard to the defamation I've been experiencing. Now, as I said in my upload yesterday about the life cycle of a hate vendetta, one of the tactics, as we all are aware, is isolation of the victim that they choose to violate and falsely vindicate and insinuate what they want and incriminate. So basically, during this entire situation, this community and their social influencers that have been making less than positive progress, especially when there's been so much and so many offences being perpetrated um, by the individuals that are orchestrating an inhumane assault against human rights, children's rights, women's rights, and constitutional rights. So basically, I've already said about the information that's been withheld from me. What I'm interested in sharing about is the information that's been shared about me. Um, as the tactic of isolation is being employed in this situation, um, the big issue is people saying what they want without even thinking of the validity of what they're saying, or without even thinking of the consequences of what they're saying. Um, there's been very dangerous claims, and there's been very serious intrusions. Um, this upload is basically me confronting the individuals that have told and shared and broadcasted the most ridiculous and dangerous lies. Um, Politics, I'm apolitical, um, but with this happening and knowing the political family that is spearheading the damage being done, um, I'm very disappointed, and I'm wondering, are they any way embarrassed about what they are doing? Because not only have they caused the most serious violations against the Irish Constitution, not only have they caused the most serious offences against women's rights, children's rights, and human rights, not only have they shared the most heinous and outlandish lies, but also have really incriminated themselves in the biggest act of injustice that this country has ever seen. Um, the spiritual violence that they have also been involved in. Um, for this town and county and country to be witnessing this kind of this situation of misinformation, violation of women's rights, children's rights, human rights, and then the spiritual violence attached to all of that as well. Um, the false facts are very serious. Um, as I've said, it's easy to be saying what you want, but without thinking of what you're saying and the consequences of what is incurred to an innocent individual based on false information and false facts is all very serious. So the ridiculous comments that I have come across in this situation with regard to the spiritual aspects is very inaccurate. Um, this town and county, um, due to my achievements, basically, that's all I can put it down to. Due to my achievements, um, have intentionally blackened this community with the worst offence of human rights violations. Um, I've been targeted by a political family that have orchestrated a vendetta of hate crime that has involved spiritual violence, very serious defamation. There's been exploitation of other women in this situation as well. There's been serious circumstances caused as a consequence. So, I'm wondering that in this society of propriety and integrity, as I keep sharing on my Facebook page, I'm just wondering, have the very same political family and all involved with them, all their family and friends, have they any concept of the damage that's being caused? And have they any notion of ever actually rectifying the false information that they've portrayed? And have they any intention of paying what they owe for the damages that they've incurred? Um, so basically, politics is a dangerous ball game. It's a dangerous field to be playing in, especially, when it has the implications of offences against human rights involved. The implications of offences against human rights for any political party or family or constitution or any authorities against an innocent woman and family, um, unjustifiable. So as I sit here as a deserted wife, married woman, a mother and a law-abiding citizen, that has absolutely been confronted with the most insane behavior and conduct for no reason except narcissism. Is it narcissism? Is it greed? Is it what issues would a person have to cause this kind of an issue in society? And what kind of a political party, what kind of a government, what kind of an authority system, guards, police, ever facilitate this kind of a situation, especially with all the spiritual violence that has been involved? And why, as a victim of crime, it's not just hate crime. It has become very apparent that it's not just hate crime. There have been so many wrongdoings that it's not just hate crime. This situation of violating 29 of my human rights for any political party or authorities to facilitate is less. It's not. There aren't words to describe how shameful and embarrassing it is for this country. Standards that were pretty good in this town. Tralee, County Kerry, was a good town, a pleasant town, but the changes aren't always that positive when it involves so many offences and wrongdoings. So it's a sad state of affairs, and it's very worrying as a victim of crime, hate crime, that the guards are ignoring, and that aren't, prioritising. Usually, in a situation like this, there'd be protection for a victim. As a victim, I've not been given the protection, and as a consequence, um, there's been there's been other innocent individuals harmed. So the guards have failed my family and me. The government have failed my family and me. There's been very serious violations of women's rights, children's rights, and human rights. And this doesn't just pertain to my situation. There have been other individuals that have been suffering as a consequence of the bad politics that's happening, the bad situation that's been caused. Um, the issue that was initially just a local issue um, has obviously been exacerbated due to other individuals being involved that wouldn't have been provided with the full facts of what has happened. So, unfortunately, um, the injustice that has already happened and any further intended injustice that could happen um, won't bode good or fortuitous or positive for the future, especially with regard to the damages that have already been done, that have not been amended or rectified. The spiritual violence has been very worrying, and as a member of the fellowship, insanity and whatnot is serious for people to be facilitating, because this is an insane situation. Um, it's very serious. I can't say any more at this moment in time about what exactly is about to be perpetrated, but I know that there is ill intentions still intended, and there aren't amends intended. So, for what's owed to me, it seems that this county and country will be paying for a long time for the injustice that's been perpetrated against an innocent woman in Tralee County, Kerry, Ireland.